Welcome to Sparks Catch Up with the Community Leaders, where every other Friday, the United Way of Greater Yankton Spark Connections for Community Programs hosts conversations with community leaders from our local nonprofit service organizations and catching up with the important work that they're still providing to our community even with the pandemic. My name is Todd Brandt. I'm currently the president of Spark, and I'm also the police commander at the Yankton Police Department. Today's guest is Jesse Bailey, with the executive director with Pathways Shelters for the Homeless. So welcome, Jesse, and thank you for being with us today. And how have you been?
We've been great over here. Thanks for this opportunity to share kind of our message and just updates about what's been happening. I mean, with the pandemic, and as the other two agencies have mentioned, it's been hard to get out to kind of spread our word to the community and share our updates. So it's awesome to have another week of that. So thanks for inviting me here.
Absolutely. So welcome, Justin. I just want to check in and see how Pathways Shelter has been doing, and tell us a little bit about your mission and history within the Yankton community, and let us know how that's been going for you.
Sure. So the mission of Pathways is to serve the immediate needs of individuals and families experiencing homelessness within the area and engaging partners in developing long-term solutions. And the shelter was founded on the belief that everyone deserves a home. And I think we've stuck true to that mission for I should have done the math. We came into existence in 1994, so however long that is to now. But so much has happened in especially the past 5 years. And we operated for 21 years out of a 2-story building, serving 9 people at maximum capacity. And then in 2015, moving into the old Starbright Inn, expanding to 50 people. And now we are about to double that capacity again. So I'll kind of get into that. But so the mission is great. We love our mission. I think through our rebranding, changing from the Yankton Homeless Shelter and changing to Pathway Shelter for the Homeless, I think we really want to focus on breaking the cycle of homelessness in every person that we serve. So we want to connect them with community resources such as many other amazing United Way entities in town and others, and just make sure that they have the tools that they need to be successful and hopefully eradicate the issues that led them to homelessness to begin with. So over the past 5 years with expanding, we've realized with serving more people, we need to find alternative funding sources. We need to find alternative programming to offer more for these folks that we're serving. So that way we're not just a place for them to come rest their head, be safe from the elements. We want to be the last stop before they are stabilized in housing, employment, and then connection with any other resources that they might need. So that's just a quick snapshot of our program. And we have, just to quickly mention, for those that don't know, we have a few different financial assistance programs that help people with maybe first month's rent, security deposit, or past due bills such as rent and utilities. So it's a very wholesome approach to getting someone stabilized in housing and with other issues that they have.
So you're not only providing shelter, you're providing hope, and that's the one important message, I guess, that I look at when I think of Pathways. And you mentioned the start. 1994 is when I started in the police department. We are in a side conversation with that before we started this video. And seeing what you have transformed the agency into is truly remarkable. And that's one thing that you and your agency have done, is helped out the Yankton community more than you know. So we really appreciate what you're doing for the Yankton community. So,
well, thank you for that. Yeah.
So just let us share, and let's talk about the last 9 months, COVID. What's been going on, and how are you facing the challenges related to COVID with providing shelter for folks?
Yeah, I think it started in February of last year when we kind of put our COVID game plan together and our policies and guidelines for shelter operations for staff and for clients. We had no idea what to expect, just like nobody did. But we have been very fortunate to not have a single positive case among our clientele. So while our shelter's set up a little differently to where families have their own room and then individuals only share a room with one other person of the same gender, distancing is very capable here. And fortunately, we haven't had to worry about quarantining or anything like that. So knock on wood that continues. And we received so many donations of masks from our community. So everyone has an opportunity to be masked. And our clients did a pretty good job of following that and adopting that. Of course, there are some folks that don't want to and don't believe that, but we still make them and they do a pretty good job. Staff have adapted well. Tito, this is going to be weird to say, but we got a very large donation of hand sanitizer from Tito's Handmade Vodka. So shelter and vodka, obviously they don't mix, but we, I think they gave us at least probably a 5-year supply. So way more than we'll need. It will last us for a long time. But what's nice is not only is it hand sanitizer, it sanitizes surfaces, and we've been using that heavily to sanitize everything. So whatever we're doing and whatever the community is doing, support us has been working, and we're going to continue that. But another thing to touch on with the pandemic is something that we certainly did not just expect: the amount of funding that we would be able to receive through the I'm forgetting what the stimulus packages that have come out.
Sure.
So two separate grants that we've received through the Emergency Solutions Grant and another one that those funds went directly towards the renovation of our basement and really made that possible. Without, we'd probably still be looking for another $150,000 to complete that process. So I hate to say that we're thankful for the pandemic, because we're not thankful for it, but some of the opportunities that have arisen from it have been really helpful for our organization.
I'm glad to hear in adversity you're still able to accomplish the mission and still proceed on and still make progress. So that's fantastic, Jesse, that we're glad to see what you've been doing has been able to be improved even in the negativity of the pandemic. So
absolutely,
yeah. So what before we sign off here, what else is upcoming with Pathways Shelter for the Homeless, and what do we all have to look out for?
Yeah, I'm very excited to say that we literally have someone working on our basement right now. It's been a long time coming and planning this project, trying to, just from starting with the feasibility study to figure out how we can expand and serve more people, kind of hopefully alleviate our waiting list, and then just getting the blueprint made and finding all the right pieces. But today our contractor showed up and they're starting to tear out some of the concrete in the basement. So they're doing that removal. Hopefully within 2 months, that project will be done. What that's going to do is that's going to double our capacity from 48 to 96 people. So we'll hold all single adults in the basement, and then families will use rooms upstairs. And then along with that renovation, we are, as we have funding, we're renovating all of the upstairs rooms as well. Okay. They're old. It's an old motel that was in 1935, so there's a grungy aspect to it, but it's still safe. It's a safe place for people to be, but we want to provide a dignified space for people to be. So what we're going to do is just tear down every room to the bare bones and build it up brand new. So as we have time, we're going to be doing that throughout this year. And then lastly, a property became available that's adjacent to the shelter. There's a lot that has 2 homes on it, and it's hard to find adjacent built properties in our facility just because we're in a residential / business area. So we are hopefully going to be acquiring this property through a grant. We'll find that out in about a month or 2. And what that'll do is it'll allow us to space out a little bit, because if COVID showed us anything, is that we're really strapped for the shelter. We had 3 staff members in the same office, kind of cooped together. So what this is going to allow us to do is have some offsite. It's going to kind of create a campus, hopefully, for Pathways, but offsite training for cooking programs, other life skill courses, offsite meeting rooms, additional offices for staffing, additional parking, and then also it'll allow us to jump back into the transitional living program as well. We used to do that in 2017, but we stopped that just because we weren't quite ready for it. So a lot of exciting things coming in 2021, and we hope that we just keep moving forward in the right direction. So.
Well, Jesse, sounds like you're on the move down there, and we appreciate, like I said, everything that you're doing for the community. You're capitalizing on some funding so that you're continuing to build on your organization's important aspect of our community. So I appreciate that. So Jesse, want to thank you again for joining us this morning, and all of you join us next time on Sparks Catch Up with Community Leaders, where we'll be speaking with Cody Frick from the Yankton Boys and Girls Club. And make sure to follow Spark on our Facebook page, or look for their recorded conversations on the United Way Greater Yankton's website at www.yanktonunitedway.org/spark. Thanks, Jesse. Have a good day.
You too, Todd. Thank you so much.